Today we're going to make one of my favorite fall and winter comfort food dishes, Jägerschnitzel. Okay, so I always like to go over the ingredients. Jägerschnitzel, from most of my research now in Germany, is done with pork, okay? But you can still get this dish, obviously, with veal pounded out flat or probably with chicken, too. So I have 2 half-pound boneless pork loin chops that are about an inch thick. The print recipe, I did 4. That's the only thing I'm changing here today is I'm just gonna fry 2 for expedience sake. We're gonna just batter that in eggs, flour, and breadcrumbs, just plain breadcrumbs. Okay, we'll season them up nicely though. We're gonna fry them in olive oil. You can fry it in another fat. You can use lard, you can use butter, tallow, you know, everybody's using tallow these days. You could do that too if you like. We're gonna save those drippings and then we're gonna make this delicious mushroom gravy, dark mushroom gravy, which is what makes it Jägerschnitzel. Also, I've seen some ones in Germany where they don't even bread it. They just pound it and they just sear it, just pan sear the cutlet. So, you know, that might be an easier way for you too if you want to speed up the recipe a little bit. For that mushroom gravy, we have 1 medium onion that I diced, 1 pound of mushrooms that are sliced. We might need a touch more oil, but we'll have the drippings. And we're going to just use 6 tablespoons of flour. So we're going to have roughly the same amount of fat to flour to make our gravy. 2.5 cups of reduced sodium beef stock. I'm using Better Than Bouillon beef base. 1/2 cup of dry red wine. 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. That looks a little less than 1.5 tablespoons, but it will do fine. We just want to get this gravy really dark. It just looks really good on the fried pork cutlet or pork schnitzel. Schnitzel, I have to stop saying cutlet, it's a schnitzel. Okay, so now we got to pound out the pork. We want to pound it to about 1/4 inch thick or about 6 millimeters, 5 millimeter. Like we want it really thin. There's 2 ways you can go about this here. You can start pounding this cutlet right away. I'm going to show it both ways just so you see. Or the other way you can do is you can butterfly it first. If you butterfly it, it almost has a tendency, it wants a rip in the middle. So that's the only thing to think about. Just drying it off a little bit. You can remove this fat here, but you don't have to. I mean, I fried them up both ways and it's delicious when it's fried. Maybe you can do like a happy medium and cut off a little bit of it if you want, but you don't have to. So like, it'll always be like a rounded side and it'll be a straighter side. Whichever one is like kind of your longer side, leave that because that's what's gonna open up like a book. So I'm just gonna try to go relatively centered without going all the way through. All right, so it's gonna open up like this, and obviously that's not enough. So you come back, just check where it is. Just keep opening it. All right, and that's about as much as I'm gonna go. It'll probably go through anyway. Okay, so that way it gives you a little bit of a head start when you pound it now. So I'm gonna take a piece of plastic on here. You don't have to, you can just use it straight on your board anyway. You're gonna have to clean it regardless this way so I can see it better. Okay, and then like this. Now, I like this one. This is very heavy. This is the heaviest one I could find. I don't know, probably weighs like 2.5 pounds, I would say. It'll do it quicker. So I start like over here first. And I'm gonna do the other side. Now I'll work in the middle, trying not to break it. Now you can check it, and it's still not thin enough, so I wanna do more. See, now I have the hump in here, and I know if I hit it a lot. All right, that's the best I'm gonna do without going through. You can do the sides a little bit more, but it might be a little bit thinner than on the sides. And if you get a bigger piece of pork, you know, you'll have a potentially bigger schnitzel. And it's about 1/4 inch thick. All right, so now we'll do the other one. I feel like it's much better doing just without going through the effort of butterflying it, provided you have something heavy enough that you can get it nice and thin with. Yeah, that's better that way. All right, so that's the 2 ways to do it. The third way is to ask your butcher to do it for you. That's the third way, and that's probably the best way. See how nice that is? This is thinner than the other one. Okay, so these are beautifully pounded out thin. I just equalized a little bit on the one that I butterflied. Okay, just cut off like that hanging end. I do think it's better just to go with the thick one and just work it. In the pictures, I used mashed potatoes as a side and some red cabbage. I have a recipe already for the red cabbage. It's either with the rouladen or the sauerbraten. I will put it right here so you know for sure. And it's super easy recipe for the red cabbage. You're just dumping everything in a pot, just letting it cook until it gets soft and delicious. But I think instead of mashed potatoes, more traditionally, this would be done with spätzle. So I'm gonna make spätzle for you right now. Okay, so spätzle. I'll link that recipe too for you. I'm just doing a half batch of my normal recipe today. So that's going to be 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, or about 205 grams, 3 eggs. This was like roughly 3 ounces of milk, but it doesn't matter if it's a little bit more or a little bit less. We can just add flour to get the right consistency. And that is 3/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt. Okay, that's it. So all we're going to do is combine the flour and salt together. Well, you want to let your spätzle batter sit for at least 10 minutes, but you could still get a pot to boil right now. I got to say, I like making spätzle more than fresh pasta, than you know, Italian pasta. It's easier, and the kids love this. They love it like with the gravy on top of it and all that. So good. Okay, I'm just going to beat these eggs together, 3 eggs, 3 ounces of milk, or about 90 milliliters. Let's mix that together and just pour that in there. Okay, and then just combine this into a batter. It should be the consistency of pancake batter. If it's too loose, we'll just add a touch more flour, about a tablespoon at a time. All right, this is not the right tool for that. Now, this might be too thick. I'm probably gonna have to add more milk. So this might be all right. We're gonna let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll come back to it. Everything in here was in the refrigerator, so it might be a little stiff right now. We'll let it warm up. You could just cover this and put it off to the side. But I think that's pretty good. It might be a little thick. We'll see. We'll see in 15, okay? It's gonna be fine. So if you like main course recipes, which I'm sure you do because you're watching this video, I wanna let you know about our new cookbook, Sip and Feast Family Favorites. It has plenty of main courses in there. In addition to that, it has all the other sections you would expect to find in a cookbook. It is a beautiful cookbook, 256 pages, over 100 recipes, beautiful photo, nice instructions, good story in every single recipe. It has US customary and metric measurements, so everybody will be able to follow along with these easy recipes. Right above you is the link where you can buy it. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all other sellers. QR code if you're watching on TV, which I'm increasingly aware that the majority of you are watching on TV. It's also pinned in the comments and in the description. If you don't like cookbooks, you just like watching our videos, buy it for a friend or family who does. Thanks. Okay, so I let it sit for about 15 minutes covered, and we're looking for pancake batter here. If it's too thick, you can just add a little touch more milk or water. You know, that would be fine too. All right, and that's pretty good. It might be a touch thick, but it'll be fine. It just needs to go through the spätzle maker. This is a spätzle maker. If you intend to make this a few times, I recommend you get one. You just put the batter right in here, and we just put it right in the water. I have my water boiling. If you don't have one of these, you just need something with holes about this size, like a strainer or something. I would think a potato press would probably be a little too small. Maybe you had something bigger like this too, just go right through it. And you just put in a ladle and you let it drip through. So you'll see. Okay, it's almost coming to boil. I recommend you just put your spätzle or your batter over on this side to the left of you, or the right, whichever hand you are, and then have a bowl with a spider or something, because we're going to just pull it out. We're going to put it right in here. We'll toss them with a little butter. I'm only doing a half batch, and it's still going to take probably two times doing this. So if you follow my recipe for the full 3 cups of flour, you might be doing like 4 or 5 batches in this water. Okay, that's boiling. Salted water, just like you would be cooking pasta, which this is pasta. That's all pasta is flour, water, sometimes eggs, salt. This has a little groove right here, and it stays like this on top. That's what makes it easier about having one of these. So take a ladle's worth of it, put it in, and now I just take a cloth so I can move it. And I just move it back and forth slowly, and they're all going to drop right into the water. So I just let the batter drip and then push again until all the batter's gone. Now you only have to let them cook for about 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. They're going to float to the top right away, but give them like 2 or 3 minutes. Any residual batter, I just push through with this. Simple as that. So I got like 2 more minutes.
So cool.
I know, they're so cool. I love them. They're so good. So you can take these out, put them right in butter like I'm going to do, toss them. Or you could put them in butter too, and then when they cool off a little bit, fry them, pan fry them. I personally like them better pan fried. You don't, Tara, right? You prefer them...
I like them boiled.
You like them boiled?
Yep.
So see how they get like that? I'm just going to taste one to make sure that they're done, which they are. but we'll check. Perfect. So good. The kids love these. Like they like this more than every other part of the dish. Anytime I make German food, they're like, "Where's the spätzle?" You know? I didn't make a video on YouTube for these. I think I did it on a Patreon video one time. You made like a fall thing, I think.
Yeah, you did like a pork.
I don't really talk about Patreon anymore. If you want a signed copy of the book, though, they're all going out to the Patreon highest levels. Those are the people at the end of the video that I always put in, producer level. All right, and we're just going to finish this. This was easy today because it was only half a batch. Try to get the remainder. Okay, and just remember, this is really the only thing I can teach you. Don't put your hand right on that. It's very hot. You'll burn yourself. All right, so we're going to wait 2 minutes. All right, so it's been about 2-3 more minutes. We'll take this batch out. I have 3 tablespoons of butter there, but you can use more or less if you like. That's going to help these just stay good while we're preparing our Jägerschnitzel. And I'll just toss them all with that butter, and I'll just keep some plastic over to the side. It'll be fine for when we're ready to eat. Got them all out. I'm going to turn that off. Give these a little toss with the butter. That's probably too much butter I used. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't need all that butter. I'll take that remaining butter out. So I'm just going to put this off to the side. When it cools, I'll just like lightly cover it. Okay, on to the Jägerschnitzel. So this is a little dirty from just the mushrooms I cut, so it's totally fine. And we're just going to lay these out like so. Okay, and then salt and pepper on both sides here. So I'm not seasoning the flour or the egg or anything. As long as I get all my pork seasoned well, it's all going to penetrate in here, but it's also going to go through to the other side. This is the easiest way to do it and to ensure that you're properly seasoning right. You know, there's a lot of recipes that will say to mix it all in that, and that's fine if you do it, but it's better this way. It really is. All right, both sides. Okay, so I have everything laid out here. So say you're gonna do, the recipe, print recipe has 4 schnitzels. Say you wanna do 10, okay? Most things like conventional wisdom and maybe good restaurants, they'll fry it for you right away, okay? They're doing 1, all right? That's what they're doing, they're doing 1 pan. But if you need to make a bunch for your family, say you have like 12 people coming over, you want to set your oven to 275 because these are very large. It's really hard to fry more than 2 in a pan, even if you have a 14-inch pan, okay? You're following what I'm saying here. So we're going to prep them all. If you're doing more, you could just put them all in parchment paper, and then as they come out of the oil, you stick them on a wire rack in the oven. All right, it's going to be a little easier today because we're doing 2. And I've always approached this channel that way because I'm always making food for my family. It would be much easier if I was making single portions every time. It just would. The video, everything would be much easier. But, most people aren't cooking that way. Even if you live alone, you're probably cooking for somebody else, who's coming over or something like that. Cutlet, we're going to dredge in the flour. So get it coated on both sides everywhere. Okay, then just shake off the excess like this. Okay, then just add it to the egg. And get this coated on both sides as well. Then these are just quarter sheets I'm using, which makes it easy this way. But you could use some like big bowls if you have it. And I know you've seen me do this all when we're making cutlets and stuff too. So if you've been watching this channel for a long time, you probably have seen me set it up this way. Okay, make sure the egg is coated completely and then let it drip off like this. Then we're gonna lay it in here and then give it a little shake. You can hit the sides. Come back with a fork or whatever. Shake it again so it's all at the bottom again. So when you flip it, it will all coat. Same thing. Okay, I want to make sure it's completely coated. Okay. Okay, it's perfectly coated on both sides. Now we're going to put it in this parchment paper lined sheet. This allows you to set them up, because unless you have a massive kitchen, you're probably going to want to clean all this before you move on to the frying stage. So we'll repeat for the next one. Okay, so I just have olive oil in the pan right here. This is a 12-inch pan. This is going to allow me to fry 1 schnitzel at a time. I want my oil to be about 340 to 360 degrees. Okay, it's registering 375, okay, 380. Might be a little high. I'm going to back it off a touch, but once we put the schnitzel in there, it's going to drop the oil temperature. I also have a wire rack right here. Okay, so as they come out, put it right here, and then you can pop it in the oven to keep them warm. You're going to need to do this anyway because to make the gravy. Making the gravy, you're making it from the drippings. Can you do it in reverse? Yes, you can. You just won't have the drippings. You can just make it with butter to start. So say like you want like the most crispy schnitzel in the world, you're going to have to make the gravy ahead of time. That goes without saying. And that's, you know, that's what a place will have. They'll have a huge vat of gravy waiting for you. But, yeah, we're doing it at home here. Okay, so my oil is good. Another way, if you don't want to use a thermometer, and look, you can get, the oil can be even be 400 at this point, or even a touch more. The second you put your cutlet in, it's going to drop down to that 340 to 360 degrees, but you can just put a piece, like anything with a wood stick in it, at the end, and you'll see these bubbles form around there. That's pretty good. Now, I'm just going to take this, I want to put it here, and I want to get it away from me like that. Now, it's only going to take like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes per side, but not too long. And the second this goes in, the oil starts dropping fast below 400. Now it's like showing it'll say 350 soon, especially if you go near the edges. Keep that in mind when you're heating up a little bit of oil, because you don't have the ability really to put in a candy thermometer into something like this, because you're not using a lot of oil. So I'm watching here, but I just want to get it nice and golden on each side. Yeah, now it's saying like 335, but it's fine. It's still bubbling, fine. Target temp, like when it's in there, you want basically to fry it anywhere from like that 330 to 360 range. If the oil was staying like at 400 now, it would burn very quickly. Maybe a touch higher. So flip it away from you like that, okay? You know, you can do this. I read this, like a lot of times they'll just put oil on it to try to make it bubble up. But you don't have to do that. 2 more minutes, we're good. On the rack, do the next one.
This gave me Emerald vibes.
I gave you Emerald vibes?
Yeah.
Well, it shows you how much I've watched him. And that's pretty much when I stopped watching cooking shows. He was like the last person I watched.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna check the other side. Oh yeah, you know what's an easier way? Just take another implement to get under there. Yeah, it needs another minute.
I feel like it's always the second cutlet that's better than the first one.
Well, this is a stainless steel pan, so it should hold the temp pretty much exactly, well, give or take, really, for the next one. If you're using a non-stick pan that's aluminum, that's thin, it will drop its heat. It will go up quickly, and it'll go down quickly. Yeah. The best would be cast iron, but, you know, that's what I need. A fork under there. Okay, so that's the other side there. This looks pretty good. And let it drain as much as I can. Then stick it right here. Put the other one in carefully. I like to just come back with paper towel just to get the top a little bit. So I turned the oil off. One thing, I pulled some of the oil out. Last time I did this, I used probably less oil, or it could have been that I did 4 and it dropped more. So I had more of like the crispy bits and everything in the oil, but I'll show you. These are perfect. I patted them dry. You can see the one that I butterflied. You can see the side of it there. And then that's the one that was pounded out. So I'm just gonna stick these in the oven now so they'll keep warm. It's just a 275 degree Fahrenheit oven. So the oil's off right here. I don't need all of this. I want about 6 to 8 tablespoons of this, but make sure you save more of it, because then you can use it to make your gravy. Again, you don't have to use this. You could use butter or something else if you want to. I'm just gonna pour some of this off. Okay, so at least I have a lot of those nice pieces of the pork and everything in there. I'm gonna turn the heat to medium, and I'm gonna add the onion in. So this is 1 medium onion that is diced. I wanna cook these for a long time, at least 10 minutes. I really wanna get them, I wanna get some color on these. I want this gravy to be dark. The way to do it even better would be, instead of using the beef base I'm gonna use, if you had like a homemade, really rich, dark beef stock, that would save you a lot of time. So the onions are in there. I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt to them to help speed up the process of them releasing the water. And you can see like how the drippings, basically the pieces of broken off breadcrumbs and the fat, it's gonna start coloring the onions very quickly. Okay, so now my onions are really brown. That took about 8 minutes on about medium heat. So I'm gonna put in the mushrooms now. They're gonna absorb all that oil very quickly. That's okay. I'm just trying to mix everything together here so the mushrooms can get some contact on the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna cook these mushrooms until they release their water. We'll evaporate the water, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes. The mushrooms are now releasing their water. You can see how it went from a dry pan, now it's back to liquid in there again. See all that? That's all coming out of the mushrooms. So basically they're sponges. They suck up all the oil or any moisture initially, and then they give it up after a few minutes, depending on how high your heat is. See how much water's coming out now? I'm gonna evaporate it all. Then we can brown them a little bit. Okay, so now I turn the heat up to about an 8 out of 10. So I want to evaporate that liquid very quickly. It smells good already. It smells like the makings of a good gravy. A good Jägerschnitzel mushroom gravy. All right, I'm gonna let them go for a couple more minutes. Don't worry, your schnitzel's okay. It's in the oven. And you can turn off the oven at this point, it'll stay warm enough. Now we're gonna add in that tomato paste. I'm backing off the heat now to about medium. And again, it should be more than that, I don't have it. I didn't wanna open up a can, so I just squeezed what was remaining left in that tube that I had in the fridge. I'm gonna fry this paste in here with the mushrooms for just a couple minutes. All the darkness on the bottom of the pan now, we want that. That's gonna make our gravy really good. That's good. Now I'm gonna take the 6 tablespoons of flour. If you don't have enough oil in here, that's why you saved it, you could just add a little bit more. And I can tell by looking at this, we're gonna need a touch more. Okay, start with that much. Add the flour in. And now, about medium heat here, give or take a little bit. I wanna darken the flour for a couple minutes, maybe 5. A lot of recipes, you'll just throw the flour in and then it'll just say get rid of the white spots and then you'll move on. But I want to try to get a little color on this. A way to really improve this, and I always think about these recipes ahead of time. I'm always masterminding, like how do I make it better, but how do I make it easier? It would be to have a dark roux ahead of time. So this is what you do, this is what they do in New Orleans for all the food. They, like all the restaurants, they don't make a roux to order. They have massive amounts of it. So when they have a dish called on, they're using that super dark roux as their base right away. Because to get a roux that dark, that takes about 30 minutes, even longer. You could do it in your oven at low heat, but it'll take like over an hour to do it. But if you had it ahead of time and you add that in now, that would be great. Okay, so it's just gonna keep hitting the bottom of the pan, that's fine. I'm just gonna keep my about level 4 to level 6, depending on your stovetop. And we're gonna keep moving it around. We don't wanna burn it, but we wanna darken it. Okay, so I just kept moving around, and every time it gets in the bottom here of this flour, I'm just scraping it, letting it get darker without burning it. All right, that's gone for I'd say about 5 minutes. Try to get it that color, okay? Not about the time, try to get it to look like that. Dry red wine, this is a half a cup. Turn it back up, let it all absorb. Don't worry, you're not gonna be able to scratch all your brown bits off the bottom yet. When you put in the stock, you will be. Okay, that quickly. 2.5 cups of the best beef stock you have. We're using better than bouillon. Reduced sodium beef base. 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. Okay, we're just gonna mix this all together and it's gonna form a gravy without spilling it out of the pot. All right, we're gonna bring this to a boil. Taking my wooden spoon, flat edge here, and then scratching the bottom. I'm feeling the bottom. I'm removing all of those brown bits. Okay, it's pretty much all have been removed. I'm gonna let it boil for a couple minutes, and then we will simmer it for a few minutes. All right, bring that down to a simmer. Now, this isn't thick enough for your liking. Just keep cooking it at a boil, and then it'll just reduce and get thicker. If you add flour in at this point, you're gonna get clumps. You could add a little bit of cornstarch. You could add Wonder Flour in here if you have that. That won't. That should be all right. I don't have that product. I should use that more. Let's give our gravy a taste. Now, listen, that's pretty dark. I would have liked to get it a little darker. You'll see the pictures in the recipe. It's a little darker because I took longer with the flour the first time. Delicious. Now, one note, it's in the recipe, printable recipe. Always print our recipes when you're making these to follow along. Why wouldn't you do that? All right, you just go to our site, you print it, and then you have it. So you can follow along better than trying to stop, rewind these videos constantly. It says in the notes, if it's not, you might need to balance it with a touch of sugar. Okay, I don't need to do that today, but you might need to, all right? Keep that in mind.
Could you use ginger snaps like you would for the sauerbraten gravy?
Yeah, you probably could. Now that's typically used to thicken that. It's not done with flour. All right, so let's plate this up and bring down the taste tester. You know what that is, right?
Yep, just had it the other night.
Yep. Red cabbage recipe. I'm gonna link it. You'll have it. Very easy to make.
You have the best red cabbage ever.
Thank you.
So good.
What about the schnitzel though, and the gravy?
The gravy's good, but can I put more gravy on the schnitzel?
Yeah.
Schnitzel's so bland by itself.
I wanted to show people how the schnitzel looks. That's the thing. Right. Yeah. No, I know, it needs the gravy. Without the gravy, it's just a cutlet that's not really seasoned well. Like, say, an Italian chicken cutlet has all herbs and cheese. This doesn't. Well, they would serve this if you got a plain schnitzel. They would serve it with lemon wedges to you.
Yeah.
It's a big schnitzel.
Yes.
I really like this, but it's not as good as a sauerbraten. I give the sauerbraten a 10, I think. I probably do.
I agree with that.
But it's still really good, so I'm going to give this a 9.
And thank you for the 9. It didn't seem like you loved it without the gravy. It would just be a plain schnitzel without it.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be eating like that.
Okay, so you like the gravy, though, a lot, though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to eat a plain chicken cutlet with no seasoning.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's pork, by the way.
Pork. Yeah, it's pork, James. Here, you want to try the gravy by itself?
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
It's strong.
Strong gravy.
Yeah. I do like the spatzel. Favorite thing out of 3 of these is the cabbage, though. Cabbage is so good.
What's nice about it, it balances the dark gravy with like the nice sweetness. And I mean, honestly, I think all 3 of these go perfectly together.
Cabbage at 10.
Cabbage is a 10, yeah. I did the cabbage in a video. Yeah, it was the sauerbraten I made.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the sauerbraten. I'm going to actually put it above here. And watch the rouladen too. You probably will, if you like this one, you probably would like both of them, maybe even more. Is the cutlet crispy and stuff like still? So it's pretty good. It's still crispy after being in the oven for that long.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
No gravy on this spatzel.
You don't have to eat all that now. I need you to taste test some goulash.
I'm gonna eat this.
You're going to eat it? Okay. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.